Hey everyone, it's Brennan, and welcome back to BC Labs. So I've been holding off on making a new MetaQuest video because there's just so much news, and I really wanted to get it all in one video. But I think things are starting to finally settle out. So between the Quest 3 getting spatial video last month, trying to compete with the Vision Pro as best as they can, multimodal tracking coming in for more apps to support, laying down mode coming to the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro, and probably soon the 3. As well as Boz actually mentioning a major UI rework, which the Quest desperately needs. And a few other things are also coming our way, and it's just awesome. So let's get into it. So let's start off with one of the further back developments. The Quest headsets using the Quest 3 controllers as well as the Quest Pro touch controllers are now able to support multimodal tracking. So this allows the seamless integration of using your controllers and your hands and going back and forth, or a mixture of the two. Now this does need to be implemented by developers in their applications, but I heard somewhere, and I cannot find my source at this point, that it was coming to the browser pretty soon. But I'm currently on the public release channel and haven't seen anything of that, so I'm hoping to hear some more news on that soon. With the new V63 update, Meta looks to finally be bringing back a lying down mode to the Quest. Albeit only to the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro currently. I'm sure it's going to trickle to the Quest 3 soon. Now currently it's relegated to the experimental features tab, but I'm really hoping they build this into the UI or make it dynamic where it detects it automatically, because it just feels a little tedious to have to switch that on and off manually. Meta is also looking to move to a system of Quest Cash. I don't know if this is going to replace their current, Quest dollars or whatever the heck it's called, your normal wallet, or if this is meant to be an addition. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be an addition, and it's going to be used so you can request money, send money as a gift, or purchase it on your account. It's also intended to be a moderation tool if you have, children or other persons that use your headset, so you can actually limit or transfer funds to them to kind of moderate their spending, or as an easy way of providing them more funds. It's also easy to request money if a new game DLC comes out and your friends want to play with you. So, kind of cool. Kind of worried the request feature might get spammed a little bit, but we'll see in due time. Recently, Boz responded about some UI changes and said that they are actually underway. We're not going to see them necessarily immediately, but I understood, or from what I understood, the time frame was soonish, on the horizon. So I'm going to guess that's in the 3 to 6 month range. And the Quest desperately needs this UI update. And I hope that they listen to a lot of the feedback, as well as implement some improvements to the way that side-loaded apps run. Because right now, the Quest ecosystem is missing some of the applications in the productivity space that the Apple Vision Pro is already able to tap into, since they kind of own their app ecosystem. The Quest has this Android support, yet hasn't brought over a true menagerie of apps to their store, whether by courting developers or by allowing third-party app stores. So they need to do something to make it a little bit more usable when you want a third-party app that's productivity focused. Like, I use Telegram all the time for communication. I have a couple editing apps that I run on my phone. It'd be amazing to be able to install those onto my Quest without being in developer mode. Anyway, there was mention that there's going to be a major UI rework, and I really hope that entails being able to kind of place things around your room, similar to the augments that were announced and never really followed up with, but actually be applications that you can just drop. Imagine being able to drop your office window or your favorite remote desktop option and leave it at your desk, streaming from your computer. Walk into the kitchen and have a YouTube video playing that resumes when you get too close to the kitchen counter, where you are cooking or where you are doing the dishes. Or in the living room, you have the Netflix app, if we ever got a good one, pinned up on the wall, and you just go and sit down on the couch and it resumes. This is the kind of ecosystem that I envision, and leads the way towards, smart glasses where you are truly able to replace the screens in your house. Anyway, I'm hoping that this UI rework entails some of this. And further on that point, there was actually a video floating around of Boz participating in a test where he was able to reach 120 words per minute or something close to that using a virtual keyboard on the Quest. Granted, it looked like it was being accelerated with, computer hardware because it was connected by link, although it could have just been battery, used for battery. but it was actually a full finger tracking keyboard that used a QR code or some kind of tracking sticker on the tabletop. And even though that does require a little bit of, physical hardware per se to have down, it's not entirely self-contained in the headset, it leads the way to more and more compact ways of working in a public space, especially as these headsets get smaller and smaller and more publicly acceptable. Now, following up in regards to comparisons to the Vision Pro, Meta really has got after it and tried to compete with the Vision Pro in one major area already, and that is spatial video. Meta has already been rolling out ways to utilize spatial video on your Quest and view it. I don't know if it's hit every single headset at this point, but they've been slowly rolling this out so you can experience almost the same level of immersion on the Quest as you could on the Apple Vision Pro. Albeit you're not at the same resolution and you're missing some of the quality of life features, the idea is still to create as much parity as possible. And I appreciate that. I really respect that Meta is getting after it. I wish they didn't wait until there was a lot of competition in the space to finally start innovating on it, but it's still good to see anyway. Now, something that may or may not matter to you guys, Quest Plus now offers a library or a catalog of existing rolling titles that are constantly available and constantly being, rotated in and out, as well as the 2 redeemable games, which I think is a major improvement. I'm still not sure that I'm going to continue my subscription once mine runs out, because there's a lot of games I already own that I haven't made it all the way through that, are kind of higher on my tier list. But it's great to have that option, and it's something that I would definitely recommend to somebody who has a small library and wants to experience everything the Quest has to offer. Now, in a potential major shakeup, there's been leaks of a actual render of a Meta Quest 3S. Now, that could just be, somebody's graphic design homework, someone just trying to piece together something to get some internet buzz, but it really does look like the standard Meta graphic design language, and it really does kind of play into what I was anticipating they were going to do with the new headset. And if the renders are to be believed, I feel vindicated. It looks like it's still going to have color pass-through, although a little bit worse. And it is foregoing the depth sensor, which I was kind of back and forth on. And it's going to kind of simplify the design structure of the Quest 3 without a complete departure. It even looked like maybe the straps could be compatible between the two, but we'll see. Now, there was no pricing in the leak. Now, it does look like we'll have a slightly lower resolution than the Quest 3, coming in at 1832 by 1920 at 20 ppd versus you have 25.5 ppd on the Quest 3. So you have, 20% worse pass-through quality. It doesn't mention whether that's color or not, but I'm hoping it's in color. And the fact that they have 3 cameras on each side on the front kind of leans in that direction. It also mentions what looks like 128 gig starting memory and a higher end 256 version, which is about what one would expect. I'm glad we're finally out of this territory of starting at 64 gig that we had with the Quest 2, and they didn't revert back to that, because that was a pretty tight amount of space, even for a pretty, early on standalone device. And games keep getting bigger and bigger, so I'm glad they went in this direction. I really hope this is true, because this falls in line with kind of what I was expecting, and as long as the price point they hit is reasonable, and that controllers are either provided or at a cost-effective price point, I'm excited. Anyway, I really hate that it took me so long to get a video to cover all this, but I really wanted to group up a lot of news, so I hope this was interesting to you, and if you learned something. I'm trying to get a little bit more VR and Quest content going, but it's kind of been a little slow on the uptake of new games and features. I will try to get some more stuff out there and show off some cool stuff. Anyway, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time.